So, yeah.
Ready to get this show on the road?
Let's do it.
Now you're in the hot seat. I was in the hot seat like a couple months ago.
I'm used to it, though, so.
Oh,
Swear.
yeah. I'm not. Where do you tattoo, and where is that shop located?
I'm tattooed out of Chicago. I own Darkwater Studio in Willow Spring, Illinois.
Nice. Willow Springs. So where's that at? How far is that from Chi-Town?
We're right off the expressway, so we're about 25 minutes
Okay.
from downtown, yeah.
So, where'd you grow up, man?
I was born in Chicago. I lived there mostly on like the north side, moving around and stuff, you know. So I can remember like on the north side of Chicago, kind of. And then we ended up moving to Cicero, kind of where like Al Capone's from, where he used to live, you know. So, growing up there, then I ended up leaving to Mexico at the age of 11. So I ended up living in Mexico for 8 years. It's like 7 years, you know, and it's the middle of the mountains. It's kind of like disconnected from everything, you know what I'm saying? It was like a little third world country. You gotta go fetch water sometimes. But it was pretty cool, man. It taught me a lot, you know, how to work hard and stuff, and got to be a little more in tune with the environment, you know, around you and stuff.
Right.
You didn't have that many distractions like here, you know.
So the part of Mexico you were in, where's geographically, where is that at?
It's Michoacan, so it's like all the way down south where it starts curving.
Okay.
So,
right where it gets into Central
it's
America.
probably like 3 or 4 hours from the beach. Well, I was in the mountains though.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I grew up with a lot of that, which is pretty cool. I really enjoyed it, you know. Got to learn how to hunt and fish and all this types of cool shit.
That's awesome. And then, so did you speak Spanish before you went there?
No, man, I had to learn Spanish. I didn't even understand Spanish or anything, so it was kind of a fucking culture shock for sure.
Right.
So when I got there, I had to get a tutor, and my sister for like 3 months, and able to be like accepted in high school, you know.
They ended up accepting it in high school. What do you mean?
So we had to take a tutor because in order to accept us in high school, of course, you had to speak the language, you know.
Right.
So we didn't speak the language or understand it, so we had to go to the tutor. So me and my sister went with a tutor for like 3 months before we would be able to, you know, actually speak Spanish and stuff. Because if not, we couldn't be accepted in school, you know.
Right. Huh. So your parents are both Mexican or no?
Yes, I think. Well, my mom, we were very confused if my mom still doesn't know positively if her like dad is American Indian, you know. So I have one of those tests, those DNA tests, which I haven't done yet. I've got actually like 2 years ago for Christmas, and I still haven't done it.
All you gotta do is spit in the fucking tube and send it back.
I know, man. I know.
Cool. So your parents, you think both your parents are Mexican, and I mean, yeah, Mexican and the Native American. I mean, there's probably a very thin line between those two back in.
Yeah, it depends how far back you go in time.
Yeah, for sure. Because if you keep going far back, then you're from Africa. So your parents, were they first generation or second generation? Or third?
My mom's. But my grandma, like her family was here for generations. I don't know how many generations, but yeah, like she was born in Arizona.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they go back generations. But yeah, my dad was, what is he, second? No, first generation. Yeah. And
so, do they speak Spanish?
My dad does. Yeah, my mom does too. We all speak Spanish. Yeah, but we had to learn it pretty much because we all lived over there when we moved. You know.
But did they speak Spanish before you guys went over there?
No.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, huh? When you were growing up, were you doing a lot of art and stuff back then?
Not really, man. I was always creative with building shit, you know, breaking stuff apart. When I was younger, my dad took electronics and stuff. Well, he actually used to fix like TVs, VCRs, and you know, CD players, shit like that, you know.
Yeah.
So I got like interested in that. So I was always like really intricate with shit, you know. So I used to fix shit or take shit apart, fuck it up, and put it back together, you know. But I always like try to put it back together, you know, and learn how shit worked and shit, you know.
Yeah.
But I was never really into like art like that. I tried drawing stuff, you know, like just little doodles here and there, but nothing too crazy, you know.
Huh.
I was always like just trying to build shit or, you know, figuring out how shit worked.
You know what's interesting about that is like I feel like, you know, one of the things I really really enjoy doing is problem solving. You know,
Yeah.
and art is problem solving, right? So
Yeah.
it sounds to me like that's kind of with you too. If you like to take things apart and build them and all that stuff, it's just essentially you're just solving problems with this little whatever it is that you're taking apart and putting back together.
Yeah, it correlates this, you know, in the same thing, man. Because it's like you're right. You can sometimes envision that shit like in 3D matter, and it's like you said, you got to figure out a problem. If you're trying to draw something, you're gonna approach it in that sense too. You know,
Yeah.
how to apply something and how to, you know, because essentially that's what like to me art is just different mediums.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you do like a portrait and then you kind of look at it and you say, okay, something's off here. I need to figure it out. You know, the shadow needs to go darker, or the shadow needs to be longer, shorter, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, now go down to basics too. It's like basic art. You know, there's a lot of basic things that you can apply to everything. You know.
Yeah. What about what's going on with that movie or the what is it? Explain what it is.
Explain what it is.
I don't even know what the hell it is.
I work on a project, and I kind of like I've always talked about like the stuff you see on TV, and it's like not accurate to who we really are. You know,
Right.
it's a bunch of
Wait,
drama.
what do you mean? What are you talking about?
it's a bunch of drama, a bunch of nonsense. So
Wait, are you referring to something specific?
no. There's just a lot of TV shows out there, and
I think you're taking a stab at me, man.
No, never. No, I just figured that I wanted.
You just don't have what it takes. You're jealous.
I don't. I'm not worthy. So I figured I wanted to do just showcase what we really do, who we really are, and more like almost in a sense, the stories of like dedication, you know, hard work, you know, focus, and you know, sacrifice to actually get successful in what we're doing. You know what I mean? It's not what you know everybody might think it is. You know, there's a lot more fucking to it, and there's a really, you know, there's amazing like. As I had a great opportunity to meet so many artists we all have, you know, along the way, and just to see we're so alike in so many ways, you know, and so different, you know, and to be able to capture that and see people's pastimes, and I just want to introduce everything in one package and really showcase and just be more visual than anything, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why I say it's like a total opposite of drama of TV in general, you know. It's just really showcasing and sharing what we see. You know, because I mean, I'm sure you've visited so many amazing places that you're just like, damn. And sometimes you wish you could share that, you know, because it is fucking dope. And like, when's the next time you'll see that? You never know, you know. So it's important, I guess, to appreciate sometimes. And I guess we don't take that time sometimes to actually appreciate. I know I don't.
I always question why is it that I'm working so hard? Because it's not for the money, and it's I used to think it was like to hit a certain goal or whatever, and then you hit that goal, and it's like, okay, now what? And you just keep going.
Yeah, next.
But do you ever think that's like maybe I saw a documentary yesterday on Netflix, and it was like there was like some chef, and he was like super famous or something like that, and he was saying that he felt like that the reason he works so hard is because there's a void that he's trying to fill, and he thought in his mind that it was when his mother died, right? Both my parents are still alive, so I'm like, well, what could that void be that I'm trying to fill? What's making me constantly move all the time and not just... I wish I could be like some of my stoner friends and just sit back and do the same thing every fucking day. It's like, oh, we're going to drink a Budweiser and hang out at Hooters. Like...
Yeah, it's a hard one to answer, too, because you don't know if you're born with that spark. Did you get that spark along the way? Depends on what you've been exposed to. Does it come from like being exposed to more stuff and your horizons are wider, or it just, I guess it's a hard. I thought about that a lot too. Like what makes me want to continue to push to the next level, and then after like you said, you get there. Okay, what's next? How is that going to be even more like better or bigger than what I'm doing? And I don't know if you're wired that way or not. That's a hard one to answer, man. It's pretty, you know.
Do you feel like that it's gotten faster? Like you know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like it almost feels in a sense because of everything like social media and everything. It's almost like it's gotten really fast, and it's like, damn, you're trying to keep up, but there's no way in fuck. It's just like, holy shit, like this, how crazy is that going to evolve, and it's a hard thing to balance sometimes,
You've been tattooing for what, 18? How long you been tattooing?
I'm going to like 16, going to 17, something like that.
Yeah.
I think that if you're pretty observant, you can definitely see when someone creates a piece of art or something. It doesn't matter what it is, a car. It doesn't matter, man. When you really give a shit and put a lot into it, you can tell.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. There's artists out there that I feel like can draw circles around me, but you can tell their heart's not in it. It's just like they're kind of going through the motions.
Yeah, I feel that with myself sometimes. It's like it's always trying to. You have to produce like almost like a robot.
Yeah.
Like you just like we're not really built for that. So sometimes, not only do I struggle with like my tendons and shit, like standing, but even mentally, sometimes I feel like I have to like train myself to go through the motions without losing your shit. Because essentially that's what insanity is.
So you still have issues with your tendons in your wrists?
Not too bad. I'm like maintaining. I know I can't overdo it. I know I can't tattoo it anymore. Like 4 or 5 days a week. I'm doing something like at 3, 4. And just pacing myself. If I feel something, I'm making sure ibuprofen, the icing them.
How old are you?
38.
38.
Or 37. I'm gonna be 38 this year.
Yeah. I forget how old I am all the time too. You know that they.
Dude, time flies, buddy.
And I don't even feel even close to my age, man. In my mind, I'm like 28 years old, and like when people are calling me sir, it's like I want to punch them in their face.
What you fuck, right? Who you disrespecting?
Who disrespected me and calling me sir? Yeah, so I was having like tennis elbow and wrist problems and stuff like that. But so they got these things that you can put your fingers in and you pull out like this. And it's supposed. So the problem with what we do is we're constantly flexing this muscle.
Yeah, we're closing. So you can do the opposite.
Do the opposite, so that makes the muscles on the opposite side counterbalance it.
Yeah.
So that, and then they've also got this tennis elbow thing where you go like this and turn it back, and you just do those every day. It goes away, man. I've had problems throughout my career, and I do that for a couple months or even a month or so, and then it goes away for like a year or something, and then.
Oh, wow.
I might come back or whatever, but have you been in physical therapy or anything?
I was doing a little here and there, but nothing like too serious. But I've gotten a lot of pointers and showing me how to massage certain areas and break down like the build-up, and stuff like that, like for the tendon part of shit. But yeah, I haven't really like hit anything. I've just been fucking working pretty much.
Go to the fucking doctor, man.
I haven't a doctor. I can't do nothing about that. It's the same thing like you're saying. You have to like counterbalance it with exercise and shit like that,
So I go whenever I have stuff like that. I always go to the physical therapy, and I do it religiously because I'm like, this is our fucking livelihood. We gotta be able to perform.
Yeah.
And did you go to art school or anything like that?
No, I did not.
No art school, nothing.
Yeah, I just in early high school I took like drafting. That was about it. Like, but never like took any art classes. I kind of just started like ended up being like self-taught. At the beginning, trying to get to know how everything worked, and then at the same time, I just started like trying to learn art. At the same time, I was trying to learn how to tattoo. So it's a little bit of a mixture of both. So yeah, that was
fucking came out the fucking gate, man. You were just like, "Yo, I want to be a tattoo artist. Go."
pretty much, yeah, man. And then along the way, I got a lot of help. I hooked up with some really great artists, and it was funny too because I got a lot of that, getting picked on and they were talking shit at me because they're like, "Well, this guy's never gonna be able to, be a tattoo artist. He can't even fucking draw, So it's like, who the fuck is he kidding? So I'm like, watch, man, I'll get it. I'll learn it,
So, like, what the heck? Like, I came into the tattoo world because I loved art, right? tattoos were just kind of like, I mean, I was always interested in tattoos, but not on a level where it would keep me occupied for a while.
Yeah.
So, like, with someone like you who wasn't really interested in art, from what I understand at the beginning, like, what kept you interested? Like,
Well, I've always liked art, man. Like even all the old school paintings, of the Renaissance, and just seeing amazing art. Like of course you stare at it. So I've always had an interest in art. I think a lot of humans do. Um, but I guess it was at the same time I had to watch the video. It was like a movie. I'm sure you heard it. You ever watched that Blood In Blood Out movie?
yeah.
Yeah, that was like I guess in
What do you
some
say?
sense sparked like the interest of the tattooing in the art world, and it was like that whole like, oh, they're a bunch of badasses. Um,
Was that
so
the
we
one
ended up
where the
just
white guy's like, on the inside, I'm Mexican? Was that one? Yeah. Or was that American Me? One of those. They were both similar, those movies.
Yeah, one of those. But yeah, man, it's kind of like visually got like, oh shit. And then we got a hold of like one of my friends got a hold of like a prison magazine thing, like it had a bunch of like drawings, and pen drawings and just a bunch of art in there. Just stuff like that, small stuff, books. I used to get a lot of books when I was in school, and just like look at some art books and comic books. So art always, of course, like sparks something.
So, tell me about when like how you started tattooing.
Well, I was working at I was a master fabricator building like Corian countertops, and it's like almost like kitchen countertops and bathroom vanities and stuff like that. So I guess long story short, they ended up closing the place because it was cheaper to outsource it and have to pay insurance. So they laid everybody off. And after that, I was just wondering like what I was gonna do. So I went on like unemployment for like like 2 months, 3 months, something like that, and just I was just like trying to find other jobs, and then like I had went right after that job. I went to trying to do the same thing, but I wasn't feeling that. I had learned what I knew everything already. About what I was doing, so I wanted to move on to something else. Something different. And then I had a friend that. So at the time, a lot of my friends and everybody that I hung around knew that I used to mess around with tattooing here and there. But it was just dumbass stuff, initials. Just once in a great as well. I end up, one of my friends tells me, hey, you should invest in a tattoo machine. You should tattoo. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? I don't got time for that shit. I gotta fucking find a job. You know what I'm saying? So. And then another one of my friends that I used to work with, he's like, I ended up. He used to tell people, hey, my friend does tattoos, so on and so forth. You always tell people here and there. And then my friend Junior would tell me all the time, man, you should get a tattoo machine, get professional equipment, this and that. So I finally ended up doing it. And I started getting clients here and there, friends, family, this, the word started spreading, word of mouth. And
So you were tattooing out of your house, or you were in a shop?
When I first started at the house, I did a lot of tattoo parties.
Nice. Classy.
I didn't get into get exposed so much because of those parties, got around everywhere, got to even get to know the city so well. I would never have gotten to, experience Chicago in that sense that I got invited to all the parties all over, everywhere, So
what was your minimum? What was your minimum at a tattoo party?
What was it? The way it kind of evolved as I went, But I think the minimum, I don't even remember. I think it was probably like $60 or $80 or something.
What? Damn, you're getting paid. I remember back when I started, it was a $20 minimum, man.
Yeah, as it evolved, yeah. But when you first started, I think the minimum was 40. I think it was like 40. Yeah, like the minimum, just for a name. Yeah, it was 40, like $40.
That's awesome.
Do tons of names, tons of script. That was the easiest shit,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just kind of starting off like that, and as I went, just evolved. You started getting exposed to other artists that were doing just killing it, and you're like, what the fuck? I remember the first time I seen it on the internet, it's realism, and tattoos. At first, I thought it was photoshopped and shit. I'm like, bullshit, that's just Photoshop, And I started investigating. I started, and that's when I discovered um, Motor City in Detroit.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, no shit. And then I went out there and just like mind blown. Got to see all the artists just fucking killing it, and you're just like, what the fuck, man? You look at your shit, I fucking suck.
Yeah.
But it sparks something, Fuck, how people can actually do that, Because at the time, not too many people could tattoo anything that realistic or that, high end, or whatever no one spent many hours and work into something like that, As the time went, and as time evolved, it was like, by meeting a bunch of like all artists, and traveling, like, Stefano showed me a bunch of painting techniques, and like Paul Booth, and just a lot of artists, Remember, like just traveling here and there. You ask them, you get to see them paint, you get to see their techniques, and so along the way, it got pretty. It just kind of starts rubbing off on you, and then all of a sudden you're like, shit. Like sometimes I even look back, I'm like, fuck, I'm an artist, huh?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like in a weird way, it was like never my intention to like, I want to become an artist, like so.
So who was the first like black and gray realism artist that you were like, holy shit, this motherfucker's doing some crazy stuff?
I guess one of the first ones was like, I think Bob, man, like, Paul Booth, of course, you had Guy doing some stuff, you had Renshaw, you had, so you had even Hernandez too, like Robert Hernandez, like just a lot of people, doing some stuff at the time that was just like, wow, holy shit, I remember the time too, it was Joshua Carlton. I remember I loved his style. It was just like different, really artsy, really. And then you started seeing a shift, Nico was killing it. There's a bunch of people just out there, really pushing the limits from the beginning, And of course yourself. It was like you always had like this spurts of stuff, like all your work came out. Like, holy shit, did you see that fucking back piece? It's like a whole panel from fucking neck to heel.
Yeah. He just updated his website. Woo!
But yeah, man, that was like, I guess in a sense too, I felt like it was so cool to just see all that, like, almost, evolve and change, and you know what I mean. And I feel that everybody, all tattoo artists, we've helped each other almost, push each other to the next limit,
Yeah.
Because of course I've always felt it's been that where you see, damn, that's fucking dope, and you like it or not, man, that's subconsciously gonna push yourself if you give a shit. It's gonna push yourself to damn, I gotta fucking do something different, something better, or I gotta do that, or that's dope. Let me try, whatever it might be. But I think it's helped each other push ourselves to the next limit. It's been pretty dope to witness.
I think also we're a very incestuous business. You know what I mean? Like, we travel way more than most artists do. We're constantly going to different tattoo conventions and going to each other's shops. And I mean, what's another art industry out there where they do that? You know what I mean? Like,
helping each other a little bit more, man. I think I've always said that, man. If artists just focus on helping each other out, man, with even all projects we do and shit, I think we could do a lot of amazing shit.
Yeah.
Help each other push our own ideas forward, and actually from becoming an idea to an actual physical thing.
The quick growth of like you as an artist, and I've seen other artists who they don't really draw up until they start tattooing, and then all of a sudden they're awesome. And it's like, I think it's a really, the fact of the matter is we're kind of forced to draw way more than we would if we didn't have a client waiting for us, or we didn't have a project kind of constantly standing in front of us,
Yeah, you're right. We're always producing nonstop. It's like you're not ready or not. Here it comes. You better be ready because you got a fucking tattoo right now.
Yeah, and I mean, there's very few artists out there in other art worlds, and I mean, I look at somebody like bringing up Crayola again. He's super prolific, man. That guy paints all day, 6 days a week. He's just painting, and it shows. But you look at most painters are having like one solo show every year or two.
Yeah.
And how long does it take to put that together? And obviously it depends on the style and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got the comic book artists where they're like bashing out a whole comic book in a couple months, and that's like 1,000 drawings or however many it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I felt too that we're really we're underrated as tattoo artists because I feel that we're under pressure on so many different aspects of art, to produce. We're doing fine art on skin, and sometimes I feel that we have to almost do it in less time than the person that actually did the masterpiece, and you know what I mean, so on and so forth. You're just it's just like this fucking so much expected of you.
Yeah. Well, then on top of that, the most of the people we're tattooing don't understand how long it does take to do something because they saw Miami Ink. And on Miami Ink, they were like, "Oh yeah, we did this whole back piece in 6 hours or whatever." It's like,
but I mean, it's 30 seconds because I fast forward. People really think that shit's that easy, that quick.
Yo, and Ink Master's doing it too.
Again, talking about that day, I really want to leave with it finished. I really want you to leave with it finished too, but in reality, that's not gonna happen.
Right. For the academy. What do you intend on teaching?
What I've done is kind of been trying to be more engaging with everybody there. The way I go about it, I teach pretty much a little bit of everything across the spectrum. How to get more detailed, how to go do contrast in a piece, how to start with composition, lighting, texture. It's a little bit of the basics of what it takes to do a dope art piece, Yeah. Drop shadows, and then the process on how to accomplish that the way I go about doing it.
Right. Yeah, awesome, man. I'm interested in learning all that shit. I mean, really, the only reason I put this academy together is so I can get free learnings from you guys.
Right? Yeah, I'm trying to step on my game, so I figured it was the easiest way.
Say what?
All in one weekend. Get it done.
Awesome. Yeah, you're going to do some dope tattoos. You're going to teach some classes.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm excited too, man. I just get really good feedback from everybody. I try to approach it a little different teaching,
Good.
I'm really trying to just make sure that people do learn from it, and it's not sitting around trying to fall asleep or whatever, getting bored over the same nonsense, So I try to approach it a little different to where everybody learns something they really want to take with them,
Good. And are you doing a PowerPoint presentation? Or are you going to do?
Yeah, it'll be a PowerPoint, and then I have some booklets too that I take with.
Awesome, man.
So there's some visuals and stuff.
Good. Awesome, man. What are you doing between now and the convention?
Hopefully a lot of sex, but we'll see how that goes. No.
Have sex?
No.
What is that?
What is that?
I don't have time for that.
No. I got. How many travels I got? I don't think I'm traveling too much. Huh?
Good.
That's it. You're next stop.
Awesome. Save that energy, man.
Yeah, man. I don't have too much. I'll be tattooing and stuff, and hopefully when I get there, man, we can go do those chicken and waffles. I know you don't remember where it was at, but it was at a bar not too far down from where you were at.
Oh, I think I do remember. It was
they had live music, man, and it was pretty fucking good. I just remember that shit tasted amazing.
And there was that. Wasn't there one of my friends worked there or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think I know. I can't remember what the place is called. I don't even think it's there anymore, to be honest. But I kind of know where.
Some good food. We'll get some good food.
Yeah. Well, the tattoo convention's on South Side, so it's 15, 20 minutes away from where we were at my shop. Mm-hmm. But we'll get you something good, man.
Uber.
Oh, man, I think we have a food truck that serves chicken and waffles at the convention.
Oh, no shit.
I think so.
Yeah, awesome.
Don't hold me on it.
Now we'll get an Uber. We'll get Uber Eats or some shit.
All right, Jose, man. It's good talking to you, bud.
All right, bro. Good seeing you, man.
Hey, don't work too hard.
I will be teaching at this year's Richmond Tattoo and Arts Academy on October 1st. So I will see you guys there. If you don't have your tickets, get them now. JPJ out.